Welcome to Across the Desk, where we discuss entrepreneurship, small business, and everything in between. It's Elizabeth Plouffe, and welcome to Across the Desk. Launching a new series. I have a real problem sticking with just one topic. It's something that I started on Instagram a while ago, and I got to thinking about a variety of pain points that clients that I've dealt with have, and just really simple solutions to problems or things they hadn't realized that could really benefit their business. And so I think I've got about 40 of them. I'm not going to do them all here today, but we're going to start with number one because, one's a great place to start. And the first one that came to me was I was doing work for a client, and there were so many opportunities for them to personalize their profile on this particular platform. And one of the most simple things to do was to add their logo. And consistently, they did not add their logo. And the cool thing about this platform was each client had the opportunity to go in and do whatever they wanted to their profile. But the challenge being that if this isn't your wheelhouse and it isn't something that you do all the time as far as setting up profiles and online engagement and what have you, then there's these little things that you can forget. So what I saw was, when I would ask people, have you added your logo here, here, and here? They would say, yeah. I'd be like, really? Because I research everybody that I'm going to meet with. And consistently they were missing. So here's some of the ones that came off the top of my head. And it was social media profiles, marketing materials, your email signature, headers for things like Facebook groups or events or what have you, swag. So if you're creating stuff for an event, have you used your logo or found a way to use your logo? Because it can be expensive, I'm discovering, if you do like a 3-color process. Holy doodle. Business cards and simple ones like invoices. So I went through a variety of things and came up with some other ones. So for an example, you're putting your website up, and when somebody searches your website, of course, they end up with a tab in their menu bar. Oopsie. And there's usually an option to add a profile as sort of an avatar, so that when somebody searches your website, that little logo pops up. Simple, but not everybody thinks about it. And then the other thing that you need to also remember, there's sites like About.me, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr. God, you could just keep going. There's tons that you can go in. The challenge is, if you're like me also, and you are creative and a fiddler, you may work on your logo now and again. I mean, you never want to have a huge departure on your branding. But you may tweak a color, you may, tweak a style once a year, whatever. Again, not recommended to do that without really thinking about what you're doing. The thing you have to think about then is how many places your logo might be sitting. So if you have created a Paper.ly, an About.me, LinkedIn for your business, Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, a blog separate from your website potentially. And, depending on what your field of industry is, you may be on membership sites, you may be on networking sites, you may have sponsored groups, you may have done a ton of different things, and your logo is sitting on all of those. So it's really important that you keep some kind of record of where your logo is sitting, because, a year from now, there's a site you've forgotten about, but people are still accessing it, and they're accessing the wrong logo. Your tagline could have changed. I mean, who knows what image you uploaded. Hopefully you've created a visual identity guideline so that certain logos are used in certain areas. But if you haven't, and it's scattered across, the internet, which we know is huge and vast and always haunts us, then it's really challenging to go in and effectively keep those profiles up to date with your existing branding. So take a list. If you haven't done this, or you're just starting to do this, do yourself a favor. And I'm guilty. I'm absolutely guilty. I know where 95% of my stuff is, but I know there's a site somewhere that I haven't updated it, and I know I have to fix that. So do yourself a favor. If you're thinking about this and you're going, oh shit, I have no idea where my logo is sitting and what have you, make a quick list and go and check and make sure everything's up to date. And one of the simplest ways for people to gain recognition for their branding with people they're communicating with is to add their logo to their email signature. So easy. You can do this in Gmail. You can do it in Outlook. It's simple as going to your settings, going down to your signature box, adding the image, and then hyperlinking it to your website. I've actually got 3 in my email signature, which I hope doesn't annoy anybody. I have one for my business. I have one for the Autism Job Club, who's one of my clients. We have a great event coming up on October 21st, so I want people to click on that and go and check it out. And then we have another one for Spark the Change India, because there's a fantastic event coming up in February. So really simple ways to use your logo, to take advantage of the fact that you've put the time and energy into this branding, or hopefully you have anyway. And the biggest thing is to remember to update it and change it depending on where it's sitting on the web, because you want to be consistent with your branding and you want to make sure that everybody's, checking out the same thing. So that's just it. It's a really quick 5-minute, hey, check it out. And here's a simple way to up your online presence. And by the way, also with the email signature, it also boosts the SEO for your website. I shouldn't say the SEO. It boosts potentially the click-through rate and the activity on your website, because it's right there and people can just go. So if you try anything out of this, add your logo to your signature, make it clickable. Smart thing to do. I hope you're having a fantastic day. That's it for the communication tips today, and I will catch you across the desk next time. Thanks. Bye. Thank you for listening to Across the Desk. You can follow me on Twitter at MCBComms, Instagram at MCB Communications, or visit mcbcommunications.ca to see where else I'm hiding out.